When you look at Silver Surfer, I've contemplated this a lot before. Why is he really called Silver? Shouldn't he be called Chrome Surfer? You know, recently I've been getting in black Silver Surfers. Those wouldn't be black Silver Surfers. They're just black surfers. And if we're going to be honest, in the comics, he actually appeared as white. You could call him White Surfer, although that could be racist. Anyway, today we are looking at another Silver Surfer collectible. This is a custom Silver Surfer on his knees. Typically, that doesn't happen with him. And I mean because he's so powerful. Nothing weird. Sicko. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're looking at another custom statue. So custom means it's a private unlicensed commission. Marvel did not approve of this, but this is a Marvel character. This is Norrin Radd or Silver Surfer. Now I'm really ecstatic because they are teasing that Silver Surfer is going to be reintroduced in the MCU in 2025 with the new Fantastic Four movie. And if you're new to the channel, Silver Surfer is my favorite comic character of all time. Always has been since I was a kid for a multitude of reasons. And I own a ton of Silver Surfer statues, and most of them are like this. They're custom. So this one, as you can see, is actually based off a comic book cover to the left. Now, while it's not exact because he's not in flames, we're going to talk about that in the review today, it's still pretty cool. I love to pair comic slabs with statues, especially when they are based off of that cover. Now, also as a disclaimer, Silver Surfer, especially when he's chromed like this, is very hard to shoot in video. The spotlights just don't really appear well, unfortunately. But stay tuned because we're going to do some close-up pictures, some close-up video. Let's start this review, as we usually do, with concept of the piece. Now, concept, is it cool? Does it tell a story? Does it match source material? And sometimes there's exact source material like there is with this one. On the bottom, you have a museum-style base. Not a fan of this. I would say this is my first Silver Surfer that has a museum-style sub-base. But on top of that is some type of rocky terrain. We assume it's an asteroid or a planet, something in space, typically where you find Silver Surfer. And they have flames. Now, in the comic cover, the flames are more on Silver Surfer, but they chose to put them on the base, probably for practicality, but we don't know. He's in the exact same pose. We don't know if he just landed down from above, if he's standing back up, getting ready to take off. He has his board in his hand. There's a little bit of a ripple effect going on because the board and him kind of become one when he touches them. And he has a very serious look. One of the things we'll look at in Paint and Sculpt. His serious look is more of an angry look on the cover, which I kind of wish they had done. However, it is pretty cool. And what I really like about this, it's such a different concept. You know, on most of my Silver Surfer reviews, I talk about he's always coming out of a black hole. Well, here he's not flying. He's not on the board. And, of course, there is no black hole, so I like the fact that it's different. And let's face it, that is an incredibly badass cover of Marvel number 6. So I give the concept a 4 out of 5. I think it's pretty cool. It's different for Silver Surfer. Design. I think they did a really nice job on this design. Now, there are some problems I have with this statue, but it's mostly Paint and Sculpt, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And for design, usually I show the unboxing and assembly. Well, I accidentally deleted the assembly, but I will show you the boxes and kind of describe how all the pieces go. So let's check that out. An actual pretty small box for a custom statue, which was nice. Now the top said Evil. And it was the standard black foam and straps. It was only one layer. You can see all the different pieces here. Alright, so you saw pieces. All the flames are separate pieces. The base, Silver Surfer, and then the board. Now, very interestingly enough, you put in the board first, and then you actually slide Silver Surfer down on the board for a good connection. And it is an extremely good connection. I am impressed by the design on that. The flames are translucent resin, and underneath the one in the back, you actually have 2 AAA batteries, a compartment there that will light everything up. And that is also where the button for that is. So here is a close-up of what it looks like without the light-up feature on, and then you have a picture of the light-up feature on. It's not a very powerful light-up feature, but it's cool they added that. Nothing that's going to blow up my skirt. I don't wear a skirt. Neither does Norrin Radd. He actually doesn't wear anything. He could be called the Naked Surfer, maybe. Let's measure him. He doesn't take up a lot of space, which is great. So it's about a 12-inch diameter on the base. And the tallest part is obviously his board. It's less than 20 inches. Now, there are some negative things about the display and the design. First, he's hunched over, so you would really have to put this on an eye-level shelf or higher. Otherwise, you're just kind of looking at the top of his head. Also, this board is incredibly skinny. While you really can't tell, I'm just thinking of all the other quarter scale boards that I have, because that's what this is, quarter scale, 4 times smaller than a real-life version. All of them, some of them almost twice as thick as that. And I don't mean thickness from the top to the bottom, I mean wide. So if you kind of picture him on this board, it just wouldn't work in my opinion, although it is pretty skinny in the cover too. So when you initially look at it, that's not a problem, but it is something to consider. Overall, I'm impressed with how well everything fits and how the board connects to him. I think there's a lot of props for that. They added a nice cool light up feature. So I think the design is also a 4 out of 5, arguably a weak 4 out of 5. Paint and sculpt, I would say this is probably one of my weakest Silver Surfers that I have. Doesn't mean it's bad, just not as good as some of the others. Here's some close-up video. So I've turned off the studio lighting and you still see there's a decent reflection from the cam lights in my ceiling. Always makes it much harder to video and photograph, as we talked about. Silver Surfer, they did go with the museum style sub base on the bottom. Now, it's not exactly black. The top of it appears to be, but then there's a little bit of a brown strip. It's fine. I think they could have gone without. Created the entire base using the rock substrate they used here. Now, it's hard to tell, but on the cover, it looks more of a gray than a brown, where they really stuck with brown, and I'm not a fan of that at all. I think the texture of it is good, because this is probably insinuating it's a different planet. So you won't have the gravel like you normally do. And the moist effect, I think they could have added more of the red. So that's not supposed to be water, but more of the fire. And there is a little bit of orange in there, but I think if they had added not too much, but a little bit more, it would have really helped it. But I'm not a fan of the paint and sculpt on the base. It's always a big controversy when it comes to flames. Do you do painted flames? Do you do translucent resin? I think both can be done right and both can be done wrong. These, I like. You can't see the magnets in them, which I think is good. I think they chose a solid color. It does change as you get further towards the top. And I think if they were painted on this, it just wouldn't flow right. Now Surfer, since he's so hard to do, there's really two different things you want to focus on. One is anatomy and two is the portrait. I don't know if the sculpt was a hit on both of those. For example, I think on the back, and maybe it's the position he's at, but I'm used to seeing a more muscular Surfer, not totally roided out. I do have one like that, but this just looks too smooth. I think there should have been some more definition, especially when you put him in chrome. It's harder to see, so if you lack definition, it looks even worse with chrome, and you can see that here. Not only his back, but a little bit on his arms. So I think a little bit of a miss there. The portrait as well. It looks okay. I think they should have given him more definition above the eyebrows to give that angry look that we see in the cover. But again, it's almost like the portrait is lacking some features. And again, hard to see under chrome for sure. The board, despite how skinny it is, like we talked about, looks great. The ripple effect is awesome right where he's touching it. Standard 3 lines down the middle. And there's Silver Surfer's ass if you guys are interested. So a lot of this isn't blowing up my skirt. It's not bad. It's just not compared to a lot of other Silver Surfer statues I've seen. But I would have changed some things, namely the portrait, some of the anatomy on Silver Surfer, and then something with the brown rocks on the base. Paint. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to give the paint a 3 out of 5, and I think that's being a little generous, to be honest with you. I'm not digging the base at all. And I think also it's safe to say that the sculpt is a 3 out of 5, and that's also generous. And keep in mind, on my extreme scale, 3 out of 5 is you get what you pay for. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not necessarily something that stands out. So I wouldn't say this is a bad statue in paint and sculpt. It's just not extraordinary or, oh, wow, that's amazing. Now, I probably will keep it because I like the fact that it's different. And for a custom Silver Surfer, it's decently affordable. So let's talk about that. They made 45 of these and they retailed at $9.50. Most custom Silver Surfers, you're talking $1,200 to $1,500, which you did have to tack on another couple hundred. But as you saw, the box was pretty small, so shipping wasn't that much. So I think the value is okay. I think it's 3 out of 5. You know, when I initially posted pictures of this on social media, if you want to see what that's about, check out the link in the description below. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I post exclusive content on there. People were absolutely loving this. So I think I could find a buyer for this pretty easily. I think I could make my money back. However, I don't know if I could make a profit. Maybe that's because of my negative views on this. And again, they're not really negative. I just have high expectations on a Silver Surfer statue. I like this one. I don't love it. So I give the value a 3 out of 5, and that may be skewed by my personal opinion. But then again, all my ratings are, because that's what they are, just my personal opinion. Does he have the X factor? No, he's not a 5 out of 5 statue. I do like him quite a bit because he's different. I think he's going to look really good with the rest of the Silver Surfers. So I give it a solid 3 out of 5. It's a very nice statue. I'm glad I have it. Yes, he could be on the chopping block someday, because I think in years to come there's going to be more and more Silver Surfer statues, especially with the fact that they're introducing him into the MCU again. And I just realized maybe my fascination with Silver Surfer is I like shiny naked guys. I should probably talk to someone about that. Do you think that's why I like Silver Surfer so much? Throw that down in the comments. Not only could you be a therapist for me, but you could win a statue with that comment. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in and me sharing this piece with you. I really appreciate it. Again, please drop a comment below. If you like stuff like this, make sure to hit that subscribe and bell notification. But at the very least, if you could hit that like, I would really appreciate it. It's free and easy and it helps me a ton. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care of yourself.